Hello, everyone, and welcome to. Whoa! Lost you there for a sec. Hey, stay with me, guys. Welcome to this week's edition of the Village Law SEQFC preview show. My name is Darren, and we're here to talk everything SEQFC football. This week, we are going to focus on a few particular leagues, and we are going to, we'll defer a few for the next few weeks. One thing I didn't do last week was discuss the Sunny Coast League, and it kicked off on the weekend. So we're putting that to rights. We've got Kev Alderdice with us tonight. He's going to discuss those leagues. We'll bring him in just one moment. First of all, I'm going to introduce Tony Jorkis. G'day, Tony.
Good evening. How are you?
All right. Mate, you were just telling me before you've been making a fortune on Olympics run at the moment.
Well, you can't cuss them winning anything.
So
They don't look like winning a game.
3 matches in, no points.
And they've got Brisbane City this week.
The City, of course, had a good win on the weekend. That was over.
No, they lost 6-3 to Lions.
Oh, that's true. Yes, that's right. That's right. The Bris Classico.
They don't. Oh, seriously, I watched their game last night. They don't look like winning. Something is drastically wrong.
Speaking of not winning, Peninsula Power, that's three games winless for them as well. They had a 2-2 draw with Raw Youth last night. 3 games, 2 points. Something's not quite right there. And I had a chat to a colleague that was at the game last night. And they couldn't tell me what's going on at Power at the moment. They can't diagnose the issue.
Well, the same with Gold Coast Knights haven't started that brilliantly either.
No, it's fantastic for the league, though, isn't it? Giving everyone a chance, early cider. Now, it's probably time to bring in Kev. One team that is doing quite well at the moment, I saw they had a good win last night over Olympic, is Kev Alderdice. G'day, Kev. Mr. Sunshine.
How you doing? Sorry about the camera, but, I actually went up and, even though they videoed, I went up and called that game. And, I was pretty happy, obviously.
Yep. How did the Wanderers play, mate?
They were. I thought Olympic came out at 100 mile an hour to start with, and they really had us on the back foot. And they did score first. It was a really peachy of a free kick from Daniel Leck, and but then a bit unfortunate. I didn't feel sorry, obviously, because Wanderers scored, but poor old Jed Brown, the own goal went against him, and Renders actually palmed it into his back. It's gone in the net. Then one of our new guys, Nesval, scored, and then Jimmy Invignap scored, and then the best goal of the match was Pierpal. He was like a freaking salmon. He just got it and bang, and a bit too nervy the last few minutes, but we got home. Considering that a lot of people thought we'd be 0-5 after our first 5 games, so we're pretty happy with 7 points.
Yeah.
You know what? Olympic could be 0-6 after 6. I think they've got City.
I think they'll do better than that, Tony, surely.
They've got City, Lions, and Power.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I can't wait for Olympic.
All up.
I can't wait for Olympic to win a game so we can get Royce on the show. It's going to be great. All right, so Kev, the Wanderers, they keep losing players, but they keep replenishing their stocks and putting up a competitive team.
Yeah, they do. Their goalkeeper, they've got a Dutch goalkeeper, Hus Vargs, and he's quite good. He's very good, in fact. I think he'll save them a lot of points this year. I've watched him train. He's, a goalkeeper that's kicked hard and it sort of just sticks to his hand like it's glue. That's how he come over from Holland he was at SC Twente, like an understudy there and whatever in the lower leagues. But how good you got to be to play MPL in Australia? I don't know what he's doing here because he's pretty good. So we'll see.
Good stuff. Glad he showed up.
Damn right. I've got time. I'll tell you a funny story off here about how we actually came here.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that. So looking at this weekend's fixtures, we'll just gloss over the MPL this week. Moreton Bay hosting East, Redlands hosting Gold Coast Knights, Brisbane City against Olympic, massive game there. Penny Power against Gold Coast United. Penn Power, time to get something going. Sunny Coast Wanderers against Roachdale. Roachdale got their first win on the weekend, and Brisbane Raw hosting Lions FC. Let's quickly move to the NPL women. They're up to round 6 already. This weekend, East hosting FC. Gold Coast United taking on Lions. Capalaba hosting Olympic. South United up against Penny Power. And Sunshine Coast Wanderers are hosting Mitchelton FC. Mitchelton, actually, I'll ask you about the Wanderers. Women, how do you think they're going to go this year?
The Wanderer girls, they're a very young side. It's, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It'll be a tough year for them. But they basically, a lot of their 23s have come through. They've got a few girls who are still here, and most of our under 17s or 18s last year are now moved to 23s. So it'll be a tough year, but they'll get better as the year goes on.
All right. And losing Corey Robbins was a massive blow for them.
And that was all about, we got, I probably shouldn't say this on here, but I will. That's because we got to change the rules now. And Corey was ineligible to coach.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. He had to have a certain qualification now. And of course, Corey doesn't have that, and he will go gangbusters at Caboolture. Everywhere he goes, he's successful.
Yeah. Okay, well, isn't that interesting? All right. Now, let's move to the FQPL 1. And Logan hosting the Strikers. Surfers Paradise hosting Wynnum. Caboolture up against the Thunder. Mitchelton hosting Sunny Coast FC. Albany Creek plays Southside Eagles. Calabar taking on the Pride. Kev, let's talk about the Fire. How are they going to go this year?
They'll be okay. They could threaten the 4, but they picked up they lost some players. Lost a lot of 23 players. They're all playing for Budrum now. But their senior side, they picked up a couple of handy players. Having Jared Tyson get injured isn't ideal, but he'll be back in a few weeks for the game that I hate. Wanderers versus the Fire in the Pro League. I'm the only guy that doesn't want that game because I support them both.
Right. All right, let's discuss Mitchelton's fortunes in the FQPL 1. We've actually got Gerry and Mitch Sutherland, who are currently coaching the Centenary Stormers this season. Last year, they were the under 23s coaches at Mitchie. So, guys, we'll bring you in. Gerry and Mitch, tell us about how you think Mitchelton are going to go this year in the FQPL
1. Yeah, I'll start. Look, I think they'll do all right. I think they could definitely avoid relegation. I think that's definitely going to be the objective for them after a rough couple of years. But look, we had a good crop and we actually did 18s last year, helped the 23s, and there's a really good crop of young players coming through there that I think will feature in the QPL and MPL for a long time to come. So if they can start to blood some of them in, I think by the end of the season, you'll see them improve a lot and probably make their way out of that relegation zone.
We did have Adam Bennett on the show last week, and he was talking up the young players that he had coming through. So must take a bit of pride in their development.
Yeah, 100%. Look, there's honestly, I'm not kidding, there's a couple, 3 or 4 players that could easily, in my opinion, be starting right now. So we'll see in the future.
Good stuff. Gerry, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have to agree with that, Darren. A lot of the boys from 18s have stepped up into 23s. 2 or 3 of them, like Mitch just said, that could play first team come to mind for me straight away. It's now all about, look, it's sort of tough as a coach. I mean, like Adam's gone in there, this is his first year, like it is for Mitch and I at our club. And I'm sure these boys want opportunities. It's just picking the right time and right game to give those boys the opportunity. I mean, like your first goal as a coach when you go into a new club is, especially with last year being a tough year, your first goal is not to be relegated. Your second goal then is to push as high up the ladder as you can. And then your third goal is obviously, can we push top 4 and cement a spot in there? So for Adam, from a coach's perspective, it's he'll have his group of players, and he will. I'm assuming Adam would probably want to give these guys opportunity, but it's just picking those right moments and right games for them.
Good stuff. All right. Let's move on to the FQPL 1 women. That competition, I believe, kicks off this weekend. Now, we saw what they call Queensland football memes, or was it Queensland football culture? Anyway, they did their preview. They had Robina coming at the bottom. Folks, Robina are not going to come bottom. They are going to challenge Brisbane City all the way for the title. Broadbeach have got a good team in there as well. Logan Lightning, yes, I fancy them to do well. Virginia, I think they might have lost too many players. Prove me wrong, guys. And interesting to see how the Thunder go in this competition. Moreton Bay United and Western Pride round out the numbers. All right, let's get to the FQPL 2. That is also kicking off this weekend. Pine Hills hosting UQ. Mount Gravatt up against North Lakes United. Caboolture hosting Grange Thistle. North Brisbane against the Gap. Annerley up against Brisbane Knights. Ipswich Knights, sorry. I'm going to take a page from Kev's book here and say that Caboolture are going to do extremely well in this competition. And I also get the feeling that the Gap might appreciate being in this league. I think they might be on a rebound mission this year, and UQ always strong. Pine Hills maybe to sneak a top 4 place as well. All right, let's go to the FQPL 3 Metro. Gerry and Mitch, this is your league. Centenary Stormers, you're off to a great start.
Yeah, not been too bad, has it?
You go
Win
first,
and draw
Mitch.
first up.
Sorry, what was that, Darren?
Win and a draw first up. Tell us, before we get to your results so far, what was the attraction to take you to those Park, isn't it?
Yeah, Tornado Alley, that's the one.
Yeah.
Look, I think, well, I've been coaching for about 3 or 4 years now, and just didn't really get the offer I wanted at the previous clubs that I was at, and I thought I was ready to take the step and do first team football. So when Gerry and I got the offer, I think we took it with both arms, really, and then yeah, it's been great so far. Can't complain at all.
Now, you mentioned before, Gerry, that your first goal is to avoid relegation. When you looked at your squad, what did you see? What did you think it needed?
It needed a change from last year. Obviously, the first team and 23s, I think they both finished 10th last year. So, look, I mean, any coach coming in, and obviously no disrespect to the club, the last coaches that from, word of mouth, a lot of injuries, struggled with player numbers. That's always going to, you could have Sir Alex Ferguson, you'd struggle with that. But, I mean, when we did take the role, we came in, we looked at the squad. I mean, our first night there, I think we had 44 players. I went, shit, a lot here. And then from there, numbers sort of diminished through pre-season because everybody hates it. I remember I used to. And so then we looked at it, and the longer it went, and then after Christmas and things like that, like we saw it, and things were starting to kick into place, and sort of we saw good, decent players come in. We obviously threw out some feelers to a few players we knew, brought some in. Look, and it wasn't planned this way, but from last year, I think there's 2 players from that squad that we've kept. Unfortunately, one of them now over the weekend has just got injured, and it could be out for a while, and that's disappointing. But that's unfortunately that's football, and that's right. And we're not the only club that's going to happen to. It's going to happen to a lot. But look, our first goal was to avoid relegation, and second goal is try. If we're mid-table for Mitch and I, that was going to be our first year a successful year for us compared to, say, last year. And then as coaches and or managers, you just want to improve week by week. Through our pre-season, for me, a little bit, we were doing some really good things, and we're doing a couple of dumb things at times. And I mean, it took a bit longer than I thought, but I could always see 2 weeks out from the season starting, things were starting to click and click. And our last pre-season game was where the tide turned for me against Southport, where I think we won the game in the last few minutes, but they were a very, very good side. And I thought, it's starting to happen. And now and then the week of our first fixture, the training was phenomenal. I mean, it was just a buzz from the Southport game. And then we went into North Lakes and had a really good win. And I could just see things were starting, the wheels were turning for us and things like that. So for Mitch and I, it was a great start. So, and I look really pleased the way it's going. We had a draw on the weekend with Newmarket, another very, very good side that's, going to be pushing right up there at the pointy end of the stick come the end of the season. So, yeah, look, from my point of view, it's been a great start for us. We've played 2 decent sides, and it's going to be a very tough league.
You better believe it.
Mitch, it's a father-son team that you've got going there. What's the dynamic between you two? How does it work? Which jobs do you take on?
Look, honestly, I think it's you get the best of both worlds with us both. Like, we delegate pretty well to each other. I'd say Gerry probably is more of the man management style, more of the tactical style. So we gel quite well together in that sense, and I think the players respond well to both of us, different players to both of us, if that makes sense. So yeah, we do a good job together, I think.
Are you surprised that there's not more duos coaching? I mean, there's the Rangbar comes to mind, and of course there was Warren Moon and Scott McNichol. But apart from that, I can't think of too many other combos.
Could be a few egos at play there, I guess. But nah, I don't know. It makes it easy with obviously Gerry being my dad, because we know what to expect from each other all the time, and we're always together. So it makes it easy to chat about things all the time and plan and whatnot. So yeah, I guess that makes it easy for us. Yeah,
good stuff. I've got to ask: are there any players there at the Stormers that we need to look out for this season?
I can't give too many secrets away, Daz.
That's the one. No, honestly, we just got a good.
Yeah, you got to look out for the goalkeeper. He's really good.
Just say all of them.
Look, 1 week at a time. I mean, look, we haven't brought in any superstars from MPL and QPL. We've actually got, I think, 3 players that we've brought up from a lower league, maybe 4 actually. 2 from Manly, 1 from Slacks. That might be it. 2 boys that were at Centenary last year. We got 1 boy that played way back before 23 started at East, but he hasn't played for 4 years, and things like that. So we haven't brought any superstars in. We just brought a team in and gelled them as best that we can, as coaches, and manage the side, like Mitch was saying before. I think you can have a team of superstars, or you can just gel a really good side. And there's the good thing about us too, Darren. There's no egos. So I mean, they all get along. They all have a good time off the field. We all have a laugh like any other club. But it's just trying to get them all up for games and things like that. But they don't seem to have too much trouble getting up for the games. They're fantastic guys. I mean, I haven't known them very long, the same as Mitch, but we seem to have a really, really good understanding. They're a great bunch of blokes. I'm just so happy that the club's given Mitch and I an opportunity, and the players have accepted us.
Good stuff. Tony, there's no egos at Pine Hills, is there?
No, mate. I wish we could play a 90-minute game of football, but
what's going on? Did your games get called off for
no, we played on Saturday. We were 5-0 up after 30 minutes.
Oh wow.
And won 5-2 at Acacia Ridge.
I see. So your team playing the full 90.
Yeah.
Okay.
We lost our goalkeeper. We picked up Jake Grisby, which is a good pickup.
Fantastic pickup.
Oh, word.
So I don't know how long he's going to be there for, because we loaned our goalkeeper out to Olympic for the first MPL game because their keeper didn't
How's that going for you?
Which?
Lended a goalkeeper out.
We lent it to Olympic and he come back busted. So that's the end of that. We have to go find another kid.
You know,
All right.
Wow.
Well, there's some cracking games this weekend. North Pine hosting Redcliffe, Spirit up against the Stormers. That's a bit of a derby, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the local derby out that side of town, Darren. Friday night. So yeah, they've actually gone quite well in the first two games as well. I know they lost last week, but I mean, Bayside's no pushover. I think they beat they got over Newmarket the week before that we played on the weekend.
Yeah, they did.
So I mean, that's what I mean. I mean, like when you look at predictions, I think everybody that won in the first round were the ones that were down the bottom end of the table. It's just the way it worked. I mean, when you start a season off, I mean, everybody's up for it. Doesn't matter what league you're in. Everybody wants to produce, prove the predictions wrong, and try and get as many points nice and early in the season as you can. And that's what this. I mean, I honestly believe that these leagues, the lower leagues of, not so much too, but I think that's up there as well. Nobody, if you were to pick who's going down or going up, it's too hard to pick at the moment. I mean, FQPL 3, 4, 5, and 6. I mean, good luck at picking it at the moment.
Yeah, anyone can beat anyone. And if you don't turn up ready to play, you're going to get done.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more,
100%.
Tony.
100%.
So does that mean Mount Gravatt are a chance against you this weekend, Tony?
Everyone's a chance against everyone, mate.
Maroochydore are a good side as well.
Mount Gravatt's a very good side.
That's
Make
right.
no mistake. Anybody doesn't turn up against them are going to get hurt.
That's right. So it's the same every time that's the thing that Leo's pumping into players. You've got to be switched on. You can't switch off.
Couldn't agree more.
Rounding out this weekend's fixtures, Newmarket host UQFC, Virginia are taking on Bayside, and North Brisbane host Acacia Ridge. All right, Kev, the invisible man, let's talk Sunny Coast football.
Okay.
Mate, this league is one of the few that have had their ladders switch over to the new squatty system. So I think you're going to say the same thing as me. We've got no idea what's going on, right?
Okay. Yes. No, lucky I got a bit of an idea.
Give us a preview of the men's and women's leagues, mate. Who should we look out for?
Well, Maroochydore can't win it. I just want to throw that in. And they're going all right in FQPL too, by the way. But Kawana they were grand finalists last year against Maroochydore. They have lost a lot of players. A lot of players have retired. If they can get blokes like Flying Ryan Delahunty and DJ Firth, these sorts of guys are retired. If they get the Oaks boys back, Caden and Jai, they'll be okay. But we Woombye pumped them 6-2. My club pumped them 6-2 at home on Saturday in the first round of the season. The Nix brothers are no longer at NYU, and they'll be just fine because they beat Noosa 3-2, which was a shock.
Where are the Nix brothers now, Kev?
I think Kyle's headed back for a holiday. Corey's actually running Sunshine Coast. He's technical director at Sunshine Coast Churches.
Right.
So, yeah.
So they're well out.
Yeah, we've got, and of course, BG's had the bye. Yeah, Coolum just edged out Gympie. They probably have to do a bit of improving if they want to make the top four. And yeah, and I'm just trying to see what the other game was. Hang on, I've got it here.
No, that's it, mate. That's it. That's all the games.
Yeah, I've missed one, I think.
No, Maroochydore.
Yeah, Gympie and Coolum. Yeah, Snakes. Oh, yeah. Caloundra and Budrum. That's the one we missed. They Caloundra up 1-0 and the lights went out. And of course, the new rules now, if it goes at halftime, the lights are out, and that stands. But Budrum rang, because it wasn't a weather event, it'll now be replayed. That'll be a juicy fixture. Because Cali thought they had the points, but they don't now. So yeah, so it's going to be very interesting.
Who are the favourites, mate? Who do you fancy?
Caloundra, they've got players back from NPL and FQPL, Josh Fouché, and of course Big Ethan Galbraith. He's a big pickup for them. He is he's an under-20 all white with the build of an all black. Kane Crew's come back from the fire. They would probably be my favourite if Budrum gel. They brought a lot of players. Obviously, they brought a lot of players in. They didn't have any freaking players, but now they brought a lot of players in. They will be top 4. I would like to think that my club will be in the top 4 as well. And Noosa are always Noosa, so you got to always throw them in the mix. And also to all the other clubs, prove me wrong.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's move on to the women's league.
Very interesting here. We've got 8 teams now. We had Noosa, who swept all before them in the women's league last year in Div 1. They decided to make the step up to FQPL 3. Ollie Williams, who plays at the Wanderers, now he's their coach. He's a good young coach too. They've signed Jackie and Jess Doyle, their former Wanderettes, the Doyle sisters, the Doyle twins, and they are good players. Caloundra, well, if Kenny Harris plays, they're going to really give it a good shake. Fiji's weren't going to have a team, but they managed to put, for mob of them weren't going to have a team, they put together a pretty good team. NYU will be strong. It's going to be, if you don't turn up, you're going to get done in this league because anyone can beat anybody. Woombye will have a good side. And the Flames, as I call them, the Fire Girls, they will go okay too. It's a really hard league to pick because the Fire they've still got Olivia Latimer playing for them. I call her Wonder Woman. I won't say her age on here, or I'll get punched when she sees me. But she is tremendous. So it's going to be really, really tight. Gympie, they'll be tough at home. That's about it.
And who do you fancy?
Wow. Well, of course, Maroochydore are playing in that league. They were actually got grand final winners last year. It's really tough to call without actually getting a proper, because we only had the 2 rounds because of the Kappa Super Cup.
Yep.
If I had to go top 4, I would probably have to say Maroochydore will be there again. The Fire will be in with a chance. BG's perhaps, and Noosa, and of course I'm always going to throw Woombye in, aren't I?
All right. In our chats before, we didn't discuss the FQPL too. Folks, I went to North Lakes United last night to watch them host North Star. North Star won that game 1-0. North Star had 24 shots in that game.
Is that all?
1-0. It was insane. It was insane. They couldn't finish a sentence last night. Oh, I had some glorious opportunities.
Couldn't hit a ball in the backside with a dish full of wheat.
Yeah, they got the 3 points, got the job done, and there was a red card in that game as well early in the first half. So we're expecting the floodgates to open, and they just did not happen. Kev, I want to ask you about Maroochydore. Firstly, they're in the FQPL 2 this season. I want to ask you about the decision. Was that an easy decision for them?
Yes.
And given that they had a win on the weekend, do you think they'll hold their own in this league?
Yeah, I think they will. I actually went down and called the game at Sanford because it was their first game last week, and I happen to think Sanford and St George are really going to be fighting that out in that league. There are a couple others that will push. Maroochydore were off the pace in the first half, but they were on the pace. They were really on the pace in the second, and they were very good against the Magic. So they got a bloke that's been with them for years, a bloke called Michael Holden. He's quick and he knows where the goals are. There's a good mixture of youth and experience. I remember, and Warren Crickmore is a good coach. They'll hold their own. I'm not saying they'll push for the 4. Be a bonus if they did, but they won't be relegated. You can take that to the bank.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I was a bit worried about them, Kev, but
no,
if you think they're going to do okay, then
they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
A bit of talk amongst the chaps last night was at Broadbeach. got a Mickey Mouse team.
Yeah, I've seen them play. Yeah, they could be all right too. Yeah, forgot about them.
They are going to be the team to beat in this league, along with St. George.
Can I just say about who thinks it's sorry about Surfers Paradise Apollo? Do you think they're a chance of getting double promotion?
No.
Look, we talked them up at the beginning of the season, but geez, they're off to a slow start, aren't they? Only one point after their game so far.
Yeah, but the game was washed out obviously at the Fire. It belted up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wait and see.
definitely. All right, I'll have a quick chat about the Gold Coast League. Looking at the Gold Coast men's this weekend. Knights hosting Musgrave. Tweed United against Runaway Bait. Murwillumbah had a good win on the weekend. They host Kingscliff. Nerang up against Coomera. Burleigh Heads host Palm Beach. And Rabina against Southport. That looks like the match of the round to me. All right, guys. Now, Gerry and Mitch, I've deliberately not talked about the other Metro South League, North and South leagues. Given your position in the league and where you're geographically located, is the lower league something that you're going to take a look at and do some scouting for potential players? Or will you just take players wherever you get them, or you're happy with what you've got?
You go, Mitch.
Yeah. I think we don't really have too many spots left as of now. Like we spent a long time. He's probably spent more time than we wanted to building our squad in preseason. But yeah, there's no reason. Like, I mean, if you actually look at our squad, I would say a majority of them have come from lower leagues, and we've picked in a few mismatches from different clubs, but good players, all of them. Okay, so. But yeah, we would never turn anyone down from a lower league, and yeah, for sure, if I can look at a few games and find a few gems, and why not?
Good stuff. All right, I'm happy with that as a run through of the leagues for this week. If we've missed your league, I do apologise. Just so many. It all depends on the guests as to which ones we're going to focus on. Tonight it was the Sunny Coast's turn, and Kev, thank you very much for being a part of the show and giving us your amazing insights. Did I see on the weekend that you've racked up 1,500 games?
No, only 1,250.
1,200 only.
Only.
It's now 1,250, 1,257 it is now. Count the game last night.
So you'll get to 1,500 by the end of the season then?
I may not get 200 in, but I intend doing more junior games as well, so you never know. I intend doing more junior games as well, so you never know.
And I've seen a few posts that you do about the people that tune into your games. You get them from all over the world, right?
Yeah. It's funny, mostly Australia, but you'd be surprised. You go, I'm big in Bulgaria. What the hell's with that? The funniest part was I had Colombia, a few listed for Colombia. Turns out a mate of mine from Maroochydore, he was in Colombia. That's where that came from.
Yeah, right.
I call the Swans game. Yeah. But yeah, it's one day I won't be able to do it, so I'll do as many as I can now.
Yeah, good stuff. Give your channels a plug, mate.
Well, my main channel is Radio WSC, the Snake Station. That's Mumbai station. I do talking on Sunshine as well. If Squatty doesn't pick up, that may have to fall by the wayside, to be honest, because I won't have any information to share. I look after Maroochydore, obviously. I have the Blue Swan Show, Wander Radio, and of course the Fire. Of course, I call it You're Fired, obviously. And I do help a couple of clubs in Brisbane, but mainly that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, good stuff, Kev. And the football in our area is all the richer for your contributions.
Thanks, mate.
Good stuff. All right, Tony, we got anything else that we need to discuss?
Not really. All the best for the weekend. Get back into it and see what happens.
Exactly.
That's the one.
Actually, Kev, I will get your opinion on the Fire's second division bid. He
might have gone.
Oh, did he go? Oh, Kevin.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
He's back.
I know. I didn't go anywhere. Oh, you're talking about me? I think the only thing that's going to get them over the line is their academy at Peregian Beach. It is something to behold. But we will see how that goes. There's a lot of strong. They're confident, like all the teams are. There's a lot of strong contenders in there with a lot of good credentials. But they are sort of looking at hoping that the Peregian Beach College, which they have full-time players, they actually train three times a day as well as do schoolwork. And they're hoping that's going to get them over the line. It might. We don't know. Depends what they're looking for,
They've got big plans. I've had a little sticky beak at of what their ideas are and how their bid's going to go. So I'll have to
nick off from there then too, because I don't think KO are going to be too keen on me calling the games.
There we go. Kev, you're the one that normally asks the questions. Have you got something for us?
No, it's no, all right, guys, give us your top 4 in the NPL.
All right. Well, we did mention that on the show a couple of weeks ago, but given the recent results, it may have
true.
Well,
right.
I tipped Gold Coast Knights, Power, Gold Coast United, and Lions.
And that's not a bad effort, because the cream always eventually rises to the top, Tony.
The team that I thought would drop would be Olympic, and on current results, looks like I might be spot on.
Yeah, well, I would go, I think, Gold Coast Knights. I don't know which order. Gold Coast United, Penn Power, and Moreton Bay.
Oh, you think Lions will miss? I just don't know Moreton Bay's depth. I know Lions have got plenty. And I don't know what will happen at Moreton Bay if they lose 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'd definitely say probably both Gold Coast sides will be in the top 4 somewhere. You'd have to think Lions will be in there, but I think Moreton Bay will sneak in there too. They look good. Look the goods. Marquez is a brilliant player up top for him.
Okay, thanks, boys.
There you go. And Kev, I tipped Moreton Bay to go down in week 1. So how's that looking at the moment?
It's hard. It's tough, and what you do is when you do tips early, you've got the egg there ready to throw it on your face. It's just there.
Yeah, we do.
Well, I had someone from Olympic told me that if Olympic made the top 4, he was going to make me wear a Liverpool shirt for a week.
I think you're safe, mate.
Can't wait to see that.
I told him today to put the Liverpool shirt in mothballs because he won't be needing it.
No, I suppose the way it looks, it'll be the good thing. They're not going to lose. Probably not going to lose another grand final.
No, because I'll be making it.
Yeah, that's right. So they won't be losing it. So that's something, I suppose. But you never know. It's nothing's won in March. Just wait and see how it goes.
Yeah, but they don't have the depth. Their under 23s isn't much chops. It's not like the old days when Olympic signed players. Everyone says, "Oh, how much are they paying these blokes?" This year they bought players that no one knows.
Most of the Moreton Bay side too.
Well, but the Moreton Bay side did nothing last year.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Interesting.
All right, guys, we might wrap it up there. To everyone out there for watching, thank you for your continued support. It's been great to have it so far this season. Check out a few of the other shows that are out there, especially Kev's. He's always a great font of knowledge. So, yes, that's the show. We'll see you guys next week. This has been the Village Law SEQFC preview show. See you later.